It is the Jim and Terry Show, two retired guys with a mug of coffee, dark roast for dark thoughts. That's our theme this last month or so.
Yeah, dark.
I've asked Google to search our podcast and come up with some conclusions about what the Jim and Terry Show represent, and I've decided that we need to call ourselves, and maybe we'll change this, instead of Have You Heard? And maybe I'll do this starting with this podcast. Jim and Terry Save America!
Yes. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going on tour too, folks. We're going to go down, see the aliens in Nevada, in New Mexico, and we'll straighten out America.
Well, let's start off with a chin. Yeah, take your mug.
Click.
Bang, there we go, and a slurp.
Go.
Okay, a good dark roast for dark conversations. Jim and Terry Show Save America theme for the next, well, maybe we'll make it today. Maybe we'll change the Have You Heard subtitle to Jim and Terry Show Save America. Okay.
Well, I bet you would get more followers if we did something like that.
Okay, let's shake it up and do that. Do a marketing field test.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's start with the facts. What would Jim and Terry Show represent that's going to save America from their American exceptionalism?
Maybe put up a mirror to them so they might be able to see what the outside world is seeing. And from my point of view as a Christian, and they have a lot of Christians down there, and they want everybody to be a Christian. And you, from a different point of view,
an agnostic
point of view, I think we could help America.
All right. You by holding up the gospel.
The gospel, and showing that a lot of what people think is the gospel, and I'm not out there being some magic man or anything else. All I'm saying is, if you follow the teachings of Jesus, and as you know, I'm actually starting to write that book, How to Become an Antichrist.
It might be too late.
Yeah. Well,
get it out, Jim.
Well, I got to get that song to you because you know the song I wrote, One King, and it is more to wake people up that what you're practicing as a believer, you're ignoring a lot of the life of Jesus Christ and what he said. And of course, the biggest one is, do not build up your treasures on earth. But
so
build them in heaven.
So this is the money. Follow the money trail and look at the corruption of money.
All the mega churches are all that. They're only going to tell you, most of them, I shouldn't say all of them, because I have heard speakers that have big congregations not talk about money, believe it or not. But this talk about money, and everybody, you're going to leave this place feeling a lot better about yourself, even though nothing changes. Nothing changes in your life. You just gave some money to a guy who said you're going to get money because God rewards those who give. And they got their 3 jets. And they got their 2 homes. Olstein has 2 humongous mansions. You know what I mean? It makes me question whether or not they're truly putting their faith and trust in God or the almighty dollar.
Yeah, store up your treasures in heaven is the verse that you would start with.
Treasures in heaven.
So you would follow the money trail and say, if there's money involved, then you aren't having a stone for a pillow. And there's something wrong with my pillow guy who has these nice big fluffy things that he sells to Trump and markets them. But Jesus had a stone.
I personally don't mind prosperity. I don't mind it. But I do mind it when it is on the backs of building a false gospel to people. It would be better for you to be poor. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What is a man to gain if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? So Jesus didn't say that blindly. There's a reason for that. This gain, this need to be the best, the biggest, the top of everything, I don't believe is scripture at all. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, the scriptures teach to be humble. Let your gentleness be known. Those kind of give to others. Pray for your enemies, not blow up their schools. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
So the irony of it all.
There's a huge irony of it all, but it kind of seeped in as America wants to be this great power. You know how I feel. First off, if I could help the United States, in my humblest of opinions, stop worshiping your country. Worship God. There's another kingdom you're supposed to belong to, and that's the kingdom of heaven. That's your main kingdom. So you're dual citizens.
Trump hugging the flag would be an act of worship?
Well, putting two giant ones out front, hugging the flag, always talking about it. To the outside world, it's starting to look like worship. And then rewarding everybody who's successful, regardless of their record of truth, honesty, or character.
Well, at the very least, it is inward navel gazing, staring at your own belly button rather than looking at where you're going. Because where America is going with tariffs is destroying everybody's economy. And America built that economy as a global economy and then tariffed everybody, and now we're dependent. Well, we either pay the tariff like a ransom or we don't do business with the United States.
Trump, through his system, and I don't think the Americans are really educated at all of what's going around the world. I just don't think that. They might be, but I don't know. But in Trump's system, he's betrayed absolutely everybody. He's betrayed Ukraine and calls Biden a fool for supporting them. Now he's building, now that Europe has to build an army, they're going to use it. It's going to be used. There will be a third world war, and the reason it's because of Donald Trump. So he had betrayed them. He's pulling troops out of Germany because he said something he didn't like. He's betrayed Canada and then gets mad at Canadians. Why would you be upset at us wanting to take over your country? Why would you be upset with us making your life miserable? When you got rich, America, off your agreements with the rest of the world, you were the light on the hill. That light has gone out, and I believe it's going to lead to total destruction.
You sound very passionate, very passionate, and very certain of things. And the book that I'm writing is called The Grace of Uncertainty.
Yes, I
where
know.
we have a civil discourse. And civil discourse is where I asked Google AI to search through our podcast and talk about what we do, because you're conservative, I'm liberal / NDP. I lean to the left, you lean to the right. You're a believer, firm believer. I'm an agnostic. Show me the money, show me the evidence is my credo. And I'm always one to talk about evidence. Give me the evidence for something. If you name it, give me the evidence for it. Don't just say, well, America's broken, Canada's broken. Give me the evidence. Give me the data-driven stuff that's behind your opinion. And if you don't have it and you're just click, repeat, sharing, then there's something wrong with your methodology of figuring things out. So one of the things I believe about the Jim and Terry show is we do try to figure things out to the best of our two retired guys. But we got a lot of learning between the two of us, a lot of years in the bank.
Yeah, and I think some of it as well is what you said is correct, Terry. And I think, but some of it is arguable belief systems. We had a talk in the kitchen, and where that would enter in, where it wouldn't affect a socialistic or an NDP frame of mind. And we have to accept that, you and me, as that's just the difference. And to bring it up could be a whole show of arguments as opposed to...
Which is what we do and what the Jim and Terry show can do to save America. We don't avoid the friction.
Yeah.
And Google AI, not that I believe everything it says, but they said one of the values of the Jim and Terry show is that we don't agree all the time, but we find a way through it.
Yeah.
And that's
what we got to do. And sometimes we might even get a little heated, but then we stop, have a drink, and
of
coffee.
That's what's on your T-shirt.
Coffee, not what's on my T-shirt. Yeah.
For our ones and twos, Jim is wearing his, and if you could get your mic out of the way so I can see it, it's the man, the myth, the premium grandpa quality, the one and only, the legend. It's Jim's grandpa shirt. And
with a bottle of whiskey, with a glass of whiskey and 2 cigars, yeah.
Father's Day is coming up, Grandfather's Day. And maybe we age well, I don't know. Will we age as well as a barrel of whiskey? Does whiskey age in a barrel?
Yes, it does.
It does. Okay.
Yeah,
But I wasn't, as a not too frequent drinker, I don't know a lot of the stuff.
And at your feet, there happens to be a bottle. No, he doesn't drink. He
told
really
you,
doesn't drink.
I use that for my deep voice and my soothing crooner, Michael Bublé.
I think I told you I was in the studio once and I couldn't get it right. I'm horrible in studios. I'm actually in a real professional studio. I'm not bad because I realize they're just going to do you 4 times over anyways, and then they'll pick the best parts of it. In my own studio, I suck at it. I'm hoping I'll be able to get a track down enough that you can do something to it. And I don't.
I'm not waiting anymore, Jim.
No, it's. I've actually bought 2 new sets of strings.
Okay, that's a sign. A sign in the sky.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
And I've cleaned up my studio
it's
area.
the end times. Jim bought new strings. I know the end is
It's been
coming.
a long time. When's the last time you changed your strings?
I can't remember, Jim. It's
You
been
did
that
a
long.
mandolin or something. You had to learn how to do it, right?
Yeah. Well, I had an oud, which is a Middle Eastern instrument, and that was
That's the one I'm talking about.
dog's breakfast to tune. And I thought of 12-string guitars, and I've got a 12-string. I don't want to do that anymore. Let somebody else tune it. I just want to be the guy playing.
Yeah.
Where's
Well,
the
I would
roadies?
agree with that as well.
The Jim and Terry Show. We save America from themselves, from idiocracy, maybe. Stay tuned for
Probably in
more.
trouble.
It's complicated, this relationship I have with my morning coffee. It's from the way that I